Hello and welcome to my presentation today about taming the flood of the information we get from the internet using a local tool known as NotebookLM. My name is Justin Conan. I am owner and operator of Irrational JT. I'm irrationally good at code and chaos because let's just face it, the entire amount of data that we have to comprehend right now is overwhelming and chaotic, and I had to find tools to help me with it. So I wanted to share a tool onto you. Taming the information flood is, well, let's just admit it. We've all been there. A stack of PDFs. We have a promise that we'd read later. Newsletters are piling up. 3 different versions of a budget. Today's world, we are just not only informed, but we are flooded. And what can we do to take all that noise and turn it into a clear, helpful conversation? Today, I want to tell you a story about how I found a way to stop treading water and start actually using information I collect. But to tame a flood, you need more than a bucket. You need a partner who knows exactly where every drop of information came from. Introducing NotebookLM. Think of it as a private vault for your thoughts. You can upload up to 50 sources into this tool, everything from Google Documents to transcripts of YouTube videos. The genius part is it doesn't use your personal data to train itself, so your private notes stay private. It is a tool built purely to understand and to help you make sense of it all. Now we have a partner, and that's great, but what if that partner could talk to you in a way that actually made sense while you were busy doing other things? NotebookLM can turn notes and your sources into conversations and audio overviews. Did you know you can turn those dry reports into a lively podcast-style discussion? NotebookLM audio overview feature takes your scattered research and turns it into a commute-friendly briefing. It's not just a robot reading text, but it's 2 AI hosts debating your documents, surfacing some insights, and even finding connections you might have missed, all while you're busy cooking or driving. You might be thinking this sounds complicated, but actually, it's designed to be used in the margins of your day. We're all busy. NotebookLM relocates comprehension to the times when you're doing chores or taking a walk. Instead of staring at another screen, you can just listen to a 15-minute summary of a complex policy document while you're at the grocery store. It turns a time-intensive task into something that happens in parallel with your life. It's one thing to hear about a tool, but let me show you how it actually helped us out for a recent club event. Miamisburg Rotary is coming up on its Night at the Races virtual horse race fundraising event. And we've had many ideas scattered across emails, within meeting notes, inside of spreadsheets, all over the place. I started recording meetings and uploading the audio transcripts into NotebookLM. So instead of me spending hours excavating through old notes or trying to frantically write things down as we're discussing matters at our meetings, I added those transcripts to NotebookLM. And with that, NotebookLM parsed it, and I can ask them questions regarding who agreed to handle catering, where we get in catering from. It instantly synthesized long discussions into a clear plan. Enough to talk about NotebookLM. Let me actually show you the tool for what it is. Let me bring it up. So right now, here's the notebook for the Miamisburg Rotary Club's Night at the Races. We have an ongoing list of sources of our meeting notes. We have the contact information for those all involved. We had the original source document that I was trying to keep all together so that we had a reference point. But it turns out NotebookLM made it a lot easier because, frankly, you don't have to read 10 pages of the single source of truth document. We can just ask the tool itself what it is. So on the left-hand side, you have your sources. You can always just add more. I'm choosing it to be local to the only sources I choose to put in there so that we don't get any misinformation from anything else. So the left, we have the sources. On the right, in the middle, we have the chat window where you can, just like any other AI chat bot, you can talk to it and ask it questions. However, unlike other things like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, all the source material that the tool NotebookLM will review is only the sources you've given it. It won't reach out to the internet and make stuff up. And the best part about when it does this research for you, it even cites where it got that information. So, for example, we're currently selling horses out for sponsorships for the club, and we started with 80. We're trying to sell them all, but we don't know how many are left. So, provided we keep updated spreadsheets, I can easily just ask NotebookLM how many horses are left to be sold as of our last committee meeting. Now, if you just give me a moment, it's not instant. So yes, as of the last committee meeting held on March 4th, there were 32 horses left to be sold. And it gives me the 2 callouts of where it got this information. And I can click on it, and it'll open the sources section and highlight the area where it believed it found the answer, which is, in fact, right here. Currently, there are 48 horses sold. And out of 80, that means there are 32 left. It did that math for us. Maybe you want to know who's in charge of the website, what is the technical specifications for ad imagery. All that is stored within these source documents that we've had. And all I need to do, instead of trying to reread these, at this point, what is that, 10-ish files? NotebookLM will do it for me. But another huge key feature of NotebookLM is the far right-hand side here, the studio. In the studio, it can take your source content and generate other material for you. For instance, I had mentioned the AI audio overview. If I can click on it right now, it'll make one completely from that entire source structure on my left-hand side. Or if I just specifically wanted to hear what happened at the last committee meeting, I can uncheck them all, click on the edit pen to get a little more refined on how I want it to generate an audio podcast file for me. I can do a deep dive, I can do a brief, I can critique, I can have it debate on my behalf, specify even more minutely what you want the podcast to cover. All that anything that was discussed within the meeting minutes, it can generate an audio file for you about that one specific topic in that one specific source that you have checked on left. Or if you want to catch up on everything, you can just check everything and then say make a podcast about that. Because not too long ago, I did do a audio generation regarding the 5 meeting minutes. And to give you a small sample, hopefully this comes through, I'm going to play that audio file right now and give you a feel for how the podcast makes dry meeting minute material into something a little more enticing. So let's see if I can get this to work.
January and February of 2026.
Which is such a gold mine.
Oh, totally. And alongside that, we have a comprehensive, highly detailed single source of truth document. These all originate from the Miamisburg Rotary Club, detailing the planning process for their upcoming charity fundraiser called Night at the Races.
The value of these documents lies in how unvarnished they are. We're looking at polished public relations.
All right. So you get a basic idea of how that can happen. Now, also, I enjoy using the tool through the web interface here, but there are NotebookLM specific apps for both iPhones and Android phones. So you could, on the go, hit that play button on that audio file and listen while, again, you shop or do the dishes or, during your commute to work. It does have other features. For example, like if you're trying to link up a whole bunch of ideas or trying to see where there's overlap in some of your documents, you can generate a mind map. And with the Miamisburg Rotary, here it is. Maybe, again, I wanted to know what the food and beverage situation is. Breaks it down to, we're getting from Bullwinkle's. We're going to have 2 bartenders for a beverage night. It's going to be a cash bar. And if we click on any one of these, it can actually query the chat window to give us more detail about where it was within the system. I've also been using it for marketing purposes. I've generated infographics using specialized prompts to try to focus on things we wanted to sell. Sponsorship infographics I generated, and I had given it a specific prompt, whereas I only wanted to focus on, say, the selling the races and selling the horses and selling the ads, not selling the tickets. So I made that very specific in my prompt when I gave it to generate the infographic for me, and you saw the outcome. It's a very strong tool. You can generate reports if you like. Specifically, I had it generate a report about sponsorships, and so that maybe our sponsorship team could go out and have a prospectus that they could read off or present to any interested sponsors about helping us out. It's an amazing tool to keep all these things together, keep lets you reference files quickly, as well as generate content. Go back to the slide deck for a second, and let's move on to another beneficial feature about NotebookLM. The most powerful things that can happen is when I've uploaded my own notes and listened to the AI host discuss it through the audio overview feature. I realized there were some confusing parts about the website when I was building it for the Night at the Races event, but hearing my own ideas explained back to me activated a different part of my brain, and it helped me find the logical holes in my planning before the board even knew or saw the first draft. So I've used it very intensely to help with my responsibilities in the Night at the Races event. And the best part about all this is it wasn't just doing work for me, it was helping me become a better presenter. NotebookLM helped me write this presentation. I used it to organize everything in this talk. I fitted a whole bunch of articles regarding NotebookLM, and it helped me turn that research paralysis, which usually takes me forever to make a slide deck because I can't get my thoughts in order. It turned this into a 20-minute outline, and then I massaged it and worked with it, identified common threads. I suggested to it formats that I wanted to see and wanted to have it help me make things a little more easy to absorb compared to usually my technical what do you call it? My over technical explanations I tend to do. But it guided I still guided the ship, but NotebookLM was the engine to help me burn through this. I'll show you quickly about just in a quick glance here. Here's the notebook I've been using for the research. The sources I decided to go with, highly reputable ones that I trust to give me right information. And then I went back and forth, and it helped me generate the slide deck. You might be thinking that sounds complicated. It's easier than you think. You can get started just by uploading your most 10 recent documents, even if they're random. You want to start with an everything notebook just to get your feet wet. I mean, you can always delete it. It's free. You can make more notebooks. It's not a big deal. Just give it a try. Upload those documents into your everything notebook and ask it a question or generate a mind map to see how your projects connect, or have Google. If you have the Google account, which is required for this tool, you can try it today at absolutely no cost. So I encourage you to go out, just search for NotebookLM in the App Store on your personal device, and you log in with your Google account, upload those files, and then start asking questions. To leave you with one final thought and why this matters to all of us. NotebookLM is a partner. It's not a replacement. It doesn't do the work for you. It handles the tedious comparison and the excavation work, so we can focus on the heart of your business or your goals, making decisions and serving others, being a better boss, understanding what your clients or your employees are asking of you, or just, it doesn't even have to be business related. Let me quickly show you how to make a brand new notebook and just kind of get your feet wet. If you don't have files to upload, it can do something for you. So just create a new notebook. And if you don't have documents, just search the web for what you're interested in. So let's just say I'd like to learn more about backpacking through national parks and where the best locations are around me to get this experience. And for those that aren't aware, I'm using Windows 11. The Windows H key is an automatic text to or speech to text feature, because you don't want to watch me type live. It's just horrible. So I did that research for me. It found some sources that might be valuable. I click the import button. It brings them all in. And then once they come in, I can easily start asking questions. Not everything's perfect, so we can just remove all sources that... get this out of the way. We can just remove sources that failed. And I could then ask it, now that it has some sources for me, what would be the best thing to get started with if I wanted to get into hiking? And let's see what it comes back with. There we go. Let's see. Backpacking is best approach through the combination planning, selecting appropriate beginner-friendly trails. Now, if you don't like the sources, just delete them, uncheck them, add new ones. Make it your own. It's a tool because farmers no longer use oxen to pull their plows; they use tractors to help them get over some of this work, the manual labor. Machines, we made them to help make our lives easier. AI and NotebookLM is here to take a lot of the strain off our brain. Yeah, I know AI isn't perfect, and I don't think it ever really truly will be, but it does really shorten that learning curve to something new. So, the flood of information is going away, but you don't have to drown in it, because frankly, you can tame it. I challenge you just this week, pick one topic that you're interested in, a hobby, a health report, a club project. Upload it into NotebookLM and just listen to the audio review. Just start there. You'd be amazed at how quickly the flood turns into a clear path forward, and you're no longer treading water, but you're swimming. We often fear what we don't understand, especially when it comes to technology. NotebookLM isn't here to change who you are, it's here to help you manage what you know. It's a tool that rewards your curiosity. So don't let the later, quote, quote, later that never comes keep you from learning today. Tame the flood, and let's use these tools to build a better informed and more effective community, group, business, relationship together. That's everything. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me, and please reach out to me at IrrationalJT. That is J Conan, JKOHNEN at irrationaljt.com. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Have a wonderful day.